David, let me ask you something before we get into today's topic. Have you ever woken up in the morning and the very first thought you had was, today is going to be a bad day?
Oh, Jane, yes. Just last week, actually. My alarm didn't go off, I burned my toast, and I knocked my water bottle off the table. And right away, I told myself, this is going to be a disaster.
Exactly. And that feeling, that one bad moment making everything feel worse, that's exactly what we're talking about today. We're diving into the power of positive thinking. And I know, some of you listening might be thinking, oh, here we go, just smile and be happy, right?
Right, that's what a lot of people think. But positive thinking is actually much more than that. It's deeper. It's about how you see situations, how you react to problems, and how you grow from hard moments.
Yes. And for our listeners who are learning English, this topic is great because we'll also be learning some really useful vocabulary words along the way. So stay with us.
Okay, so Jane, let's start from the beginning. What actually is positive thinking? Like, what does it mean?
Good question. So positive thinking means choosing to look for the good in a situation, even when things are hard. Now, an important word here is situation. Situation means a set of things happening around you at one moment. Like your situation right now is, you're listening to us, maybe on the bus, maybe at home, maybe during a walk.
I love that. So a situation is just what's happening to you right now. And positive thinking means even in a difficult situation, you look for something good or something useful.
Exactly. And here's what positive thinking is not. It is not pretending that problems don't exist. It is not saying everything is fine when everything is clearly not fine. That would be fake, right?
Yeah, totally fake. And actually, we'll talk later about something called toxic positivity, which is when people are too positive in a way that's actually harmful. But first, Jane, can you give us an example of positive thinking in real life?
Sure. Okay, imagine you are a student and you take an English test, and your score is not so great, not what you hoped for. A negative thought would be, I'm terrible at English. I will never be good at this.
Oh, I've heard students say things like that, and it feels so true in the moment, right?
It does, but a positive thought would be, I didn't do well this time, but now I know what I need to study more. I can improve.
So you're not ignoring the problem. You got a bad score. That's real. But you're choosing to focus on what you can do next, instead of just feeling bad.
Exactly. And there's a key word here, improve. To improve means to get better at something over time. So to improve your English, you practice every day. You listen to podcasts like this one.
Yes, definitely listen to English Talking Today every day.
So we talked about what positive thinking is, but why does it actually matter? Like, why should we care?
Oh, this part is so interesting, Jane. So when we think negatively, our bodies actually produce more of a hormone called cortisol. Let's break that word down. Cortisol, cortisol, is a chemical your body makes when you feel stressed or worried.
And cortisol is sometimes called the stress hormone. So stress, that's the feeling of pressure or worry. Like when you have a big deadline at work, or you have to speak English in front of people, you might feel stress.
Exactly. And too much cortisol, too much of the stress hormone, can make you feel tired, make it hard to sleep, and can even affect your health over time. But when we think more positively, our bodies produce less cortisol.
So thinking positively is literally good for your body, not just your mind.
Yeah. Research, that means scientific studies done by experts, research shows that people who practice positive thinking often sleep better and feel healthier overall.
And it helps with relationships too. People enjoy being around positive people. Think about it. Do you prefer to spend time with someone who always complains or someone who is encouraging and warm?
That's an easy answer. Definitely the encouraging one. And encouraging is a great word here. To encourage someone means to give them support and confidence. Like, if your friend is nervous about a job interview, you might say, "You've worked so hard. You can do this." That's encouragement.
I love that. Okay, so now we know what positive thinking is and why it matters. But here's the tricky part. How do you actually do it? Because our brains, they have habits, right? And for a lot of us, negative thinking is the automatic habit.
Yes, automatic. That's a great word. Automatic means it happens by itself, without you choosing it. Like breathing. You don't think about breathing, it just happens. And for many people, negative thoughts are automatic.
So the first step is actually noticing your thoughts. This sounds simple, but it's actually quite hard. You have to catch yourself in the middle of a negative thought pattern. Pattern means a thing that repeats again and again.
Right. So what do these patterns look like? Jane, you want to give some examples?
Sure. One very common negative thought pattern is using words like always and never. Like, I always make mistakes. I never understand English grammar. If you say always or never, you're being very extreme, right? And usually it's not actually true.
Yeah. If you say, I never understand grammar, is that really true? Have you really never understood any grammar point ever in your life?
Probably not. So when you catch yourself using always or never, pause. Just stop for a second and ask yourself, is this really true? Is this really always or never?
And that pause, that moment where you stop and check your own thinking, that is a really powerful skill. It's called self-awareness. Self-awareness means knowing and understanding your own thoughts and feelings.
I love that word, David, self-awareness. And the self part means you, your inner world, your thoughts, your emotions. So self-awareness is paying attention to what's happening inside yourself.
Okay, so once we have self-awareness, once we can notice the negative thoughts, what do we actually do with them?
Well, one powerful tool is something called self-talk. Self-talk is the voice inside your head that speaks to you all day long. It's what you say to yourself, not out loud, but in your mind.
Right, and most people don't even realize they have this inner voice, but it's there, and it has a huge effect on how you feel.
So if your self-talk is mostly negative, like, I'm not smart enough, I can't speak English well, people will laugh at me, then you'll feel nervous and small.
But if you practice positive self-talk, you start to change the story you tell yourself. Instead of, I can't speak English, you say, I'm still learning, and every day I get a little better.
And that's not lying to yourself. That's just, being fair to yourself, being honest in a kind way.
Kind is a good word, and that brings us to something called self-compassion. Compassion means caring about someone's pain or difficulty and wanting to help. Self-compassion means treating yourself with that same kindness you'd give to a good friend.
Oh, I love that. Think about it. If your best friend was learning something new and they made a mistake, would you say, you're so stupid, you'll never get this?
Of course not. That would be terrible.
Exactly. You'd say, hey, it's okay. Mistakes are how we learn. Keep going. So why don't we talk to ourselves that way?
That's such a good point. We are often our own harshest critics. Harsh means very strict, very tough, maybe too tough. And a critic is someone who points out what's wrong.
So the goal is to be less of a harsh critic to yourself and more of a supportive. That means helpful and encouraging, more of a supportive friend to yourself.
Okay, Jane, let's talk about some practical habits. Because I think some of our listeners are thinking, this sounds nice, but how? What do I actually do every day?
Yes, great question. So one of my favorite habits is keeping a gratitude journal. Gratitude, Gratitude, means the feeling of being thankful. When you feel gratitude, you appreciate what is good in your life.
An eternal is like a personal diary, a notebook where you write your thoughts and feelings.
So a gratitude journal is a notebook where every day you write down things you are thankful for. They don't have to be big things, like today I'm grateful that the weather was nice, or I'm grateful that my coffee was hot and delicious this morning.
I can get behind that. Hot coffee, very important.
Very important. And research shows that when you regularly focus on what you're grateful for, your brain actually starts to look for more positive things throughout the day. It kind of trains your brain.
Oh, I like that idea. Training your brain like you train your body at the gym. You don't go to the gym once and become strong. You go regularly, again and again. Same with positive thinking. It's a practice.
Exactly. And another great tool is visualization. To visualize means to picture something in your mind, like a movie you play inside your head. Athletes, people who play sports professionally, they do this all the time.
Right. Before a big race or a big game, they imagine themselves performing well. They see it clearly in their mind before it actually happens.
And we can do this for our English learning too. Before you have a conversation in English, maybe at work or with a new friend, you can take a moment and visualize it going well.
Imagine yourself speaking clearly, feeling calm, and the other person understanding you.
That's actually something I do before big presentations. I close my eyes and I picture everything going smoothly. It really does help calm the nerves.
It does. And there's another habit I want to mention, surrounding yourself with positive people. The people around you have a huge influence on your mindset. Mindset means your way of thinking, your general attitude toward life.
Oh, this is so true. I once had a colleague is someone you work with, and this person complained about everything. The weather, the workload, even the lunch in the cafeteria.
Oh no.
And after spending time with them, I realized I was starting to feel negative too, even when nothing bad had happened to me. Their energy was affecting me.
That's a really important thing to notice. We absorb, we take in the energy of the people around us. So if you want to think more positively, try to spend more time with people who are warm, encouraging, and hopeful.
And if you feel like you don't have people like that in your life right now, you can find positive communities. Maybe a club, a volunteer group, or even an online community around something you love. Volunteer means to give your time to help others without being paid.
And speaking of spreading positive energy, one really simple thing you can do is give compliments. A compliment is when you say something kind and true to someone, like, "I really liked how you explained that," or "You have such a warm smile."
It costs nothing, but it can completely change someone's day. And you know what? It usually makes you feel good too.
It really does. Okay, David, I want to bring up something important now, something that some people get confused about, and that's the difference between healthy positivity and toxic positivity.
Yes, toxic positivity. Toxic, Toxic, means harmful or poisonous. So toxic positivity sounds strange, right? How can positivity be harmful?
Well, it becomes toxic when it's used to dismiss or ignore real feelings and real problems. For example, if someone is going through something really hard, maybe they lost a job or they're dealing with a difficult situation, and someone just says, "Just stay positive, it'll all be fine," without listening to the real pain. That's toxic.
Right, because the person struggling needs to feel heard, not dismissed. To dismiss means to push away or to say something isn't important when it actually is.
Healthy positivity is different. Healthy positivity says, "Yes, this is hard. I see that it's hard. And we can find a way through this." It acknowledges the difficulty and keeps hope alive.
Acknowledges is a good word. To acknowledge means to recognize or accept that something is real. So healthy positivity acknowledges the problem, but focuses on moving forward.
And that's what resilience is all about. Resilience, Resilience, means the ability to bounce back from difficulty, to recover, like a rubber ball. You throw it on the ground, and it comes back up.
I love that image. And resilience is not about never falling down. It's about getting up again. Every time.
There's a famous saying that connects to this. It's about Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb. When someone asked him about all the times he failed before he succeeded, he said, "I didn't fail 10,000 times. I found 10,000 ways that didn't work."
Wow. What a powerful way to look at failure. Because failure is just information, right? It's just telling you, try a different way.
Exactly. And I think that mindset, that attitude toward failure, is one of the most important parts of positive thinking. You don't give up. You adjust. You learn. You try again.
Adjust means to make a small change to make something work better. So when something doesn't go right, you don't throw everything away. You adjust and continue.
Okay, so let's bring everything together. We've covered a lot today. How do we make positive thinking a lasting habit, something that stays with us?
For me, it's about small daily routines. A routine is something you do regularly, like a personal schedule. Every morning, I try to think of one thing I'm looking forward to that day. Just one thing. It can be tiny, even just a good cup of tea.
I love that. And for me, I like to end my day by writing in my gratitude journal. Just 3 things. It closes the day on a good note. And on a good note means ending something in a positive way.
And both of us, I think, try to practice self-talk throughout the day, catching the negative voice and gently, calmly, without being harsh,
redirecting it to something kinder.
Gently is a beautiful word here. Gently means softly and carefully, so you don't fight your negative thoughts with more harshness. You just gently guide yourself back.
And remember, listeners, positive thinking is not a destination. Destination means a place you arrive at, and then you're done. It's a journey.
A journey is a long trip that has many steps and experiences along the way. And on this journey, some days will be harder than others. Some days the negative voice will be loud, and that's okay.
What matters is that you keep coming back. Keep practicing. Keep being kind to yourself.
All right, let's bring today's episode to a close. The big message today is this: positive thinking is not about pretending life is perfect. It is about choosing how you respond to life with kindness, resilience, and hope. Start small. Write down 3 things you're grateful for tonight. Try 1 moment of positive self-talk tomorrow morning, and notice how it feels.
Small steps, big changes. That's the beauty of it. And our listeners, you are already doing something positive right now by choosing to learn, to grow, and to spend time with us here at English Talking Today.
We are so proud of you for that. Keep going, keep practicing your English, keep practicing your mindset, and we will be here with you every step of the way.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to English Talking Today. It really helps us grow and reach more learners just like you. And like this video, share it with a friend who might need a little positivity today.
We'll see you in the next episode. Until then, stay curious, stay kind, and keep learning. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.